This is episode 30, I believe. Uh, Doing okay. Um, I did have a pop today, the dollar I found, but that was it as far as bad food. I had burgers. I had one for breakfast, two for lunch, and I had three last night for dinner. And those are with liver and pork belly mixed in with the hamburger. And I'll just warn you now, don't ever try that. The liver was okay. The pork belly was disgusting. I thought that was going to give it flavor. I guess I don't really know what pork belly was. I still don't. Because it's just like these rindy chunks of chewy meat in the middle of the hamburger. So it's like gross textured pieces of gum in the middle, hard gum in the middle of my hamburger. It doesn't. It's probably raw, so I'm probably getting Trichinella spirolis. I don't even know if it cooked all the way. The liver looked disgusting before. Like, I tried chopping it up with not the sharpest knife. I could barely cut the pork belly. That was a disaster. So they were big chunks. The liver I got cut up a little better, but still not that small. Basically, what I would need to do is grind the stuff, which I'm not going to get a grinder just so I can add a little liver to my hamburger. So anyways, the hamburger patties look like big raw meat things with like raisins, and the liver looked like big chocolate chips in them. It looked disgusting. And then these white macadamia looking things, which was like the pork belly. Last night I could only eat two because it would kind of gross me out. The first one I ate was kind of raw inside, and then the chunks of pork belly. The ones I had for lunch today were a little better. I want to microwave the shit out of them tonight. So I'm not going to put the pork belly in anymore. I still have a bunch of liver left, so I'll mix that in. Because taste-wise, I didn't taste the liver, so that was cool. But just the texture of the pork belly was just nasty. And speaking of that, reading about liver, you know, it's a superfood and everything. And then a lot of people say, oh, but it stores all the toxins, and you're probably getting all these toxins. And from what I've read, it's not true. It does detoxify, but it doesn't store any toxins. Those get stored in like fat and things like that. What it does store is all the vitamins and minerals. That's why it's so nutritious. It's a great source for vitamin C, which they say that beef doesn't have vitamin C, but the liver does have a ton of it. And also folate and your B12, like all the stuff you need, it's in the liver. So I'm glad I'm putting that in. Like, it's a huge thing, and it's bioavailable. So it's really good for you. Even though it is disgusting. It's like meat jello. Also, I want to say I got, like, you know, how affordable is this? I got basically like 6-7 days of food for $40. That's lunch and dinner, and I could split, like today I split the lunch up with breakfast. So basically breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's 6 big, like, basically half-pound burgers. You know, they shrink up, but still, because I get 8 burgers out of 4 pounds. So that's like $6 a day. That's way less than I was spending before. One meal at a fast food place was more, you know, usually like 8 something, 9 something. So that's huge. I'm saving money. And the funny thing is, I'm eating like what most people would consider like the shittiest thing, just like hamburger, the fatty hamburger. And I'm probably getting more healthy than any of them. So it's funny. Another thing I wanted to point out, also, you know, I'm still struggling to get back on. I had a pop today, so I'm doing better. But already, you know, just from the few days since last week, so it's almost been a week since I've been eating like crap, you know, I gained weight back. It's like I'm like 299. I was like 293. Or excuse me, I'm 199. I was like 193. I got down to. My asthma's back. Nose is stuffy and runny. Can't smell. My joints already hurt. My elbows are sore. And not even my bad, like the left one hurts too. Like trying to lift a box out last night, like killed my elbow. So it's like all this joint pain's coming back just for me. Like I haven't been exercising or anything. And I have no desire to exercise right now. Like, I just don't feel good. I'm having trouble getting up in the morning. I feel like shit and tired. So it's amazing seeing how shitty I really feel when I eat bad food. And even the last like 3 days, I've been eating I've had bad meals, but I haven't, they're not all bad, and I still feel like crap. What else? I wanted to say that the podcast I've been listening to is Peak Human podcast. It's with Brian Saunders. He's the one who's doing it. And he's making a movie called Food Lies. So it's like he's interviewing all these people that are in the movie. They're on the podcast. And it's got really good people. I'll name some of them. There's Tim Noakes. He's the nutrition doctor from South Africa that like won the trial. They were like, his association was trying to like say he shouldn't give advice on like low carb and stuff like that. And they were trying to like disbar him basically and everything else. And he won. He's Sean Baker, which I've talked about. He's another doctor that got disbarred because he was giving nutritional advice that's going against conventional wisdom. But he's one of the big proponents of the carnivore diet. Lierre Keith, I think that's how you pronounce her name. It's Lierre. She's the one who did the book The Vegetarian Myth, which I haven't read yet, but I can't wait to. And I guess she's also in the movie The Magic Pill. She's in that too. That was a really good one. Podcast. Peter Ballastat is he was really good about just like how cows, like basically the agriculture with cows and stuff is like how sustainable it is, and like a lot of the lies they've been saying about how it's bad for the environment and all the numbers they make up, the vegetarians and vegans, for how bad it is and how much water, like it's like most of it is just complete bullshit. Like I don't even know where they get the numbers from. And Dr. Georgia Eade, she's really good. That was a good one. And then Dr. Bill Schindler was the one who's the archaeologist who talked a lot about the food stuff, like primitive technology for processing food that like men did that made us each progress farther and farther and farther. And he was one who said that in the day, like back in the, history, our food processing and our tools were to get more nutrition out of things. Like we learned how to like soak beans or, get the bone marrow out with stones. Like it was all to get more dense nutrition. And nowadays we use technology to take all the nutrition out of food. We like brag that things are low fat or it's like they're designing food that's just all calories and no nutritional value whatsoever, which is hilarious. He said it was like we're the only, now like in the past, if they saw like everybody's obese, but they're actually diseased and nutrient deficient. So it's like we're getting plenty of food, but not any nutrients. So it's like the opposite of what it should be. You should be getting, the least amount of food you could get by on that's the most nutrient dense. So you don't, so he had some good points. Another one was, and I don't remember, I think it was maybe Zoe Harcom said, but it was somebody else that had the quote, but basically there's no way it's just not logical that foods from our past, what we've been eating for millions of years, is what's causing modern diseases. And that's what conventional wisdom is saying. Everybody's sick and has diabetes and has heart attacks and is obese because of saturated fat, because of milk and steak and bacon. That's which everybody's been eating forever. And since the 70s and 80s, we've become the sickest, diseased, fat. To say that it's eggs and butter and steaks and bacon is just fucking stupid when you really think about it. It's just stupid. And that's what they're saying. It's not processed wheat and corn oil and sugar and margarine. Ever since we've been doing that, everything's been great. It's just stupid. What else? I've been really thinking about, like, I've been trying to like think of something I want to do to make my life, like sustainable and for like a career. And like, I think meat is the key to health, good meat. And I was looking, like looking online, like grass-fed beef and bison, it's like $16 for one burger online. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Trying to like start some kind of co-op or thing where basically like you're rewilding places with either cows or bison or something, ruminants, where you're fixing the land, but then like you can, you know, like where people chip into like, or even a nonprofit thing where you buy land, you buy cows, and then you like, as the maintenance of them, you basically get meat off of them as the, you know, the herds grow and like flourish the land, make it basically good again, you know, with like biodiversity and fertile and grasses, bring all the insects, birds, bacteria, everything back, you know, through that process. Like take over some of these fucking, everything that's just cornfields and dead dirt, you know what I mean? Bring that back to prairie and then feed people with it, you know, at the same time. But as growing that, like the sustainability of it's awesome. Like where you could actually have herds get bigger and bigger and bigger and heal the land, but you could actually maintain yourself off of those. Like people can actually like harvest off of that to help the herds, one, stay strong, but also to help you stay strong. Like you're getting the best meat you can get that way, you know? I don't know. I'm trying to figure something out, like just like getting co-ops or people that are already doing it, like adding cows, like where people can go in and one, so you can get cheaper meat, but better meat. And it also like, it's helping the environment and and like, not only does that help like the soil, but it helps like just like the earth, like everything's so hot because everything's paved, everything's dirt. There's like runoff and, you know, like how much does that like carbon in the air, like they say like prairie, like grasslands is one of the best biodiversity things, like a rainforest, like bringing CO2 and all that, like all that stuff back into the, you know, the air. It's like amazing for that. And everything's like, you know, you look at the heartland and it's just solid crops that once they cut it down, it's just complete dirt. Like it's death. There's nothing there. It's a desert basically until they plow it again and pump it full of petrochemicals to grow again. So I don't know. I was just thinking about that. So I want to like look into that more, and I don't know. I really want to try to work at night and like study some of this stuff better instead of just listening to it and trying to remember it, so I could get some more information out there and really working at this better. And sticking to this goddamn diet because it's good for me and it's affordable, and I want to be able to show people that it's what you should do. Not everybody. I'm not saying plants are bad, but I think grains are terrible, sugar's terrible, and seed oils are covered. Which is funny, they were talking about like they call them vegetable oils because that sounds better and vegetables are supposed to be healthy, but they're not fucking vegetable oils. They're all seeds from vegetables, which are toxic. They're industrial chemicals basically. None of them are from the actual vegetable. They're from the seeds. They're seed oils. So, which they need like fucking solvents and stuff to break down to actually get the oils. They're terrible. And that's what everybody's been forced to, like all the fast food places were forced to get rid of lard and use that shit, which is basically what's probably causing cancer and shit. It's ridiculous. It's so oxidized, it's terrible for your cells. All right. That's it for now. Thank you.